Anthony with True Diamond Heart. I understand. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's almost difficult to the point where we feel we might break. And the more difficult things get, the more painful and claustrophobic and terrifying, panicking almost they get, the more active our mind becomes. He's passing by with his dog and his headphones. I have this fellow here. There's trees, there's leaves, everything is going on, seemingly doesn't care at all about what we go through. And perhaps on that level it doesn't, and yet, for us in the midst of the darkest hour, we've spoken about asking for help, we've spoken about stillness. Let's speak about the stillness of doing nothing. I'm in a panic. Things are so dark and painful and claustrophobic. My mind is telling me to do something because that's the nature of the mind, is to be active and to do. And the emotions are in turmoil. And yet there's something outside of that that we cultivate in prayer and meditation. It could be called the observer, it could be called the Holy Spirit, it could be called Jesus, it could be called Buddha. It doesn't matter what we call this. This observing facility, this grander vision. If we're able to let the mind not convince us to be drawn into the turmoil and the chaos of its thinking, to be rushing to a solution. Almost always. Sometimes there are emergencies. We do need to act quickly. And that's just what it is. But a large majority of these personally dark, deep, difficult places call for us to just stop activity and allow the greater wisdom of that which is not the mind or the emotions to start operating and to continue operating more effectively. They are blocked and confused. They're not confused, but we're confused, and we block the operation of the healing, of the realization, of the self-realization, of the emancipation, of the transcendence. We block that in our panic and how many times have we noticed that we do something to fix something that's really just overwhelming and we make it worse, or we make it last longer? Often, unless there's an objective, meaning an outside, a real reason, something that really needs to be taken care of, often, try your best to be still. We've spoken about asking for help. If it's overwhelming, then we need to do something. We need to get professional help or call a friend or whatever it is we need to do. But just shy of that, which happens a lot for most of us, do nothing when things are difficult. And revealing naturally, what will be revealed naturally and on its own, will be solutions and solace and peace of mind, and light will come because the light is there. And if we're able to be still and to not be overactive, not believe our frantic minds and our frantic emotions, the power of doing nothing is incredible. It doesn't have to be a panic situation either. Try it in general if it's not a situation where it's clear that something needs to be done and you know what to do. Try your best and see what the power of doing nothing yields. Combined with stillness and asking for help, which we've talked about before, incredible. And as we go through this, we find that there's more light in the darkness, and there's more overall light in our lives, and less are we subject to and vulnerable to those darknesses which are always present and lurking. And yet, there's a very illusory quality to a vast majority of them. How much do we worry and fear when there's nothing that ever comes of it? We're just out of the present. We're thinking about the past, working through trauma, or we're working into anxiety into the future. The power of doing nothing. if you could understand how unbelievably beautiful and powerful you are, we're going to talk about that next. I'm going to hit that red button and we're going to start another video, and the video is going to be about self-love. I see it. Why can't you? Stay conscious and try doing nothing in the storm. Find that eye in the middle of the storm and watch the storm dissipate on its own. There is only love.